Okay, so in this video, we are going to go through some settings. The settings is in the top right. So on this little gear wheel, if you click on settings, you will get a small quick view menu of your settings. So on the quick view menu, you have a few options. So you have what your inbox will look like. So ours is set right here to comfortable. And I'll show you if I set this to default, what this does is it changes my settings so that in the email, notice I can see if there is something attached to this email. So if I click on comfortable again, it condenses that. If you like the default setting, you will see if that person that sent you an email had anything attached to it. This is a Google Doc. I see this one has an image and so on. So that's under default. Comfortable, it will not show that. Compact makes it a lot smaller. So you will see it in a little compact version. So just smaller. For us, we just keep it at comfortable for now. Okay. You can also change the theme from here. You can view all the themes. This one just gives you some quick options right here. Notice our theme is on green, but if I want my theme to be different, that one makes me a little dizzy. You can change your theme right here. Right? And then you also have the inbox type. Ours is set to default. You can set it to having important things first. Like I said, Gmail kind of chooses what's kind of important, so that one I'm not a fan of. You can have all of your unread emails come up first. So notice this one doesn't have anything unread, so unread and then everything else below it. I can have my starred emails come up first. That will give you ones. Notice these are all back from August, July. So those will be on the top of your email list. You might not want that. You can have priority come up first. We're probably not going to want that. And then you can have multiple inboxes and customize it on your own. But that is up to you. So I keep it at the default setting, easiest for me to kind of keep track of. Okay. You also have the reading pane. So this one, if I don't have any split screen right now, we talked about this in the other video. I can also have right of the inbox. So when I'm reading this email, it pops up and gives me a screenshot on the right. I can also do all of my functions, reply all, forward, or I have the below inbox. So that was gone over in the previous video, but you can change it from here also. So I'm going to keep that at no split. And then this email threading right here, it's conversation view. We keep that one off. What that means is any email thread that people reply all to, it gets clumped together into one email. So if you have an email going out with 10 people on it, anytime somebody on that email replies, it will make that email into a conversation view where it will clump them all together into one email. If you have this off, each reply will be separate and it makes it easier for things to find. So that's what this little conversation view is. You can play with it, turn it on, turn it off. It's kind of whatever you prefer. But I prefer having it off so that all of my emails will be separate and it's easier for me to find things that way. Okay, so that's in your quick settings. And then to see more settings, you're going to click on See All Settings. So in See All Settings, I'm just going to go over in this video the general and then the inbox. So in general settings, you have some general settings. I'm not going to go over all of these, but like you have your language, United States, how many emails you want to see on each page. Right here, you can undo send. Sometimes we accidentally click send and it goes out and we may not have been done with that email. So you can set this to how many seconds you want before you cannot undo it anymore. So I think it defaults to 5. But maybe if you want it a little bit longer, I want 10 seconds for me to be able to undo my send if I made a mistake, right? So when I click on send on my email, I didn't mean to. Oh no, that went out and I didn't mean to send it yet. You have 10 seconds to click undo, and a little undo button will pop up on the bottom. Okay, so this is your undo send. You have a default reply, so it can be defaulted to just reply or defaulted to reply all. And we prefer that this is just defaulted to reply so that we're not always replying all to everyone on the emails. Okay. Right here you have hover actions, enable hover actions. So what hover actions are when you are in your inbox. Let me confirm the changes. If I hover over this email, these little options on the right are my hover actions. So when this is on, I have some things I can do straight from here without even opening the email. I can archive it, I can delete it, I can mark it as unread, and I can snooze it. So like I said before, we would go over the snooze. So what the snooze button is if I have an email and I know I need to get back to it. I just don't have time right now, but I don't want to forget about it. I can snooze it until later. So I can snooze it where it will remind me again. It will pop up tonight at 6. I can do it till tomorrow. I can do it later this week and so on, or I can pick a specific date and time. So I'm like, I do not want to forget about this. I need to get back to this at 3 o'clock today. I can come here, I can snooze it until 3, and then it will pop up and remind me at 3 o'clock about this email that I want to get back to. So that's what that little snooze button is. Okay, so again, these are your hover actions right here. And then I have it in settings. I have that enabled. So I'm going to go back to the gear button, see all settings, and then we are in general still, and I am scrolling down to where I was. So I was in hover actions. I like seeing those hover actions, so I'm going to keep that enabled. And then right here you have send an archive. Um, you can send an archive button. You can have that button available. I suggest you hide it. Sometimes archiving things, it gets lost. We don't know where it is. It archives, and it's like it is in the middle of nowhere. So archiving's a little bit tricky sometimes. So I don't like to send and archive my emails. You have your text style. So this is what you want your text to look like when you are typing out emails. So if I want mine instead of the regular to be the Tahoma font, I can change that. I can make it to large font, small font. You probably don't want small, be too little, but you can keep it normal. You can also change the color of your text. And then right here, remove formatting. Don't worry about that. And then you have a little sample of what your text would look like. So if I changed it to wide, this is what your text will look like. This one just defaults back to what it was in the beginning. So if I choose that I want mine narrow, say large, and let's say I want it blue. That will be what the text of your emails will look like, okay? I'm going to put it back to normal. So when my team's using this, it will be normal again. Okay. Images. If you want to always display any external images coming from other people, you can have that there, or you can ask. Totally up to you. Don't worry about this kind of stuff. Grammar, spelling, autocorrect if you want those things on or off. Smart Compose, it just makes predictive writing suggestions, things like that. This is again the conversation view that I mentioned earlier, where it threads all of the same topic email. They're all grouped together. Like I said, I keep this off. I think it's easier to not lose things when the conversation view is off. Right here, you have some nudges. So you can have it where it suggests emails to reply to or emails to follow up on. So sometimes you read an email and then we forget about it. This thing kind of shows up after a certain amount of time and says, hey, did you want to reply to this email from however many days ago? So sometimes it's nice because you think, oh, I forgot to reply to that. I like that. Okay. We have Smart Reply. So if you want Smart Reply on or off, again, it's a lot of suggestions to reply when available. You have this mark a conversation as read. Do you want it to mark as read immediately after 1 second? Whatever you prefer. And then over here, you have your desktop notifications. So if you want new mail, to be notified when a message arrives in your inbox, you can have that on. Important, whatever they think is important to be on, or have your mail notifications off. So if you have this on, you might see a little pop up on the bottom right of your desktop that shows you have a new message. Again, totally up to you what you prefer. The next thing right here are stars. So I can star emails and it has what stars I have in use. So right now I can use a yellow star, pink, purple, blue, green. I have this exclamation mark and I have this question mark. These ones right here are not in use, but if I wanted to be able to use one of these, I just click and drag it. So if I want to use this check mark as an option, I can drag it up here wherever I want. So I'll put it right here and I'll put it after the star. Okay, and then I'll show you how to star your emails, and this will come up a little bit later. Okay, so those are your stars, kind of like marking things as important or starring them. You have some other options right here. You have some keyboard shortcuts if you want them on or off. You have some button labels. You can have a picture on here. You can create contacts. When I send a message to a person, add them to contacts. I wouldn't worry about that. Um, totally up to you. That's a whole other thing, Google Contacts. One thing that is super important is putting a signature. So putting a signature right here, this is what you want to do. So when you're sending out emails, people know who it's from. It automatically is signed with your name. So you have a signature right here. This is your main signature, what they'll see at the bottom of an email. So right here, we actually put in a picture. We put in our Bitmojis that says EdTech Coaches. And then under there, we typed in Educational Technology Integration Team, Lancaster School District, and the phone number. So, for example, if you're a secretary, you can put your name, you can put what school you're at, you can put the school phone number so that whenever you send an email out, people will know who you are that is sending the email, right? We want teachers to do that as well so that when they're sending out emails, we can see what school they're at, what grade level they teach, and it's just a lot easier to support people when we know who they are or where they're from, right? So you can do your signature there. You can add pictures, you can add links. Some people have quotes, some people have badges, like if they're a Google certified educator, things like that. Anything you want in your signature, just remember that that will always pop up at the bottom of your email. Okay. Okay, so here's, like I said, these are new features, so you can actually add default signatures and things like that. We won't really go over that. And then down here, you have some other options. We won't have to really worry about that. And then this vacation responder, I've never really used, but if you happen to go on like a long vacation or you know you're out of the office for a while, you can turn this on and you can set a time frame. So if I know I will be gone and out of the office and not getting to my emails, say from Friday the 25th, and then I know I will be back, and this is optional to put a day back, but I know I'll be back October 9th, right? You can have a subject and a message. So you might say, I am out of office, and will return October 9th. Please contact, and then who else would be the contact while you're gone? Okay, so you might want this only to send a response to people in the Lancaster School District. If you choose that, then that means it will only send back to people who are writing you in Lancaster School District. If you want this going back to everyone, don't check any of these things. Maybe you have some parents or someone else contacting you that you also want this to go to. But if you want to limit this to only people in the district, you can check that on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off because no vacations for us. All right. And then when you are done with all your settings, you click Save Changes at the bottom. Okay. So again, that's a lot of different settings in here. Um, you can play with it and you'll figure out what you like, what you prefer in your email, and change it up however you want. But that is in the general settings for your account. So I'm going to go ahead and save that.